Hey guys, I'm here with,
Yuwei.
and he's playing Warriors, and we're going to do a quick deck profile. Let's get into the deck profile. Let's see what you got.
Alright, so obvious ones for GOAT, like Power Cards, BLS, Chaos Orc, and Breaker. Like, honestly, this is a pretty powerful card, to be honest. It's like a free +1. So I'm going to put it with, Kings of this format at this point in modern GOAT. And then two copies of the Tomato, and then one copy of the Sangan. Tomato toolboxes for the Sangan, or like floats for the Sangan, and the Sangan can float for any good piece. You can also float for Don Zaloog, so I play 2. I focus a lot on this card when I have access to it. It is a very powerful card. When it connects, you just feel like you're winning the game, honestly. One copy of DD Warrior Lady. Spot removal. It's a good card to set sometimes. It's just a good card. One copy of Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. A lot of people don't play this anymore, but like having the main is just great when your opponent's like does like a Chaos Orc play or a BLS play, and they special in defense. You just have this, and it just outs the card for free. It's pretty nice. Triple Blade Knight. Your best light, and it's your best attacker. Best going first card too. It's incredible. 2 Mystic Swordsman, level 2. Fantastic card. This card is so amazing against like Go Control, Chaos Flip, and then random Des Lakuta decks, those troll decks. It's like good against a lot of things. And then one copy of Exile Force, which is like Mystic Swordsman, but just doesn't attack over the card. It just spot removes it directly, so it's a little bit worse, but you can't really justify playing 3 Mystic Swordsman because Exile Force has the flexibility of killing like a BLS or a Chaos Orc or something big, like a Jinzo.
It's a lot of Hobby League cards.
Yeah, I know. Not legal,
That's sick, dude.
It's not legal in the actual tournaments, but it's GOAT, so it doesn't matter. That's it for monsters. I got spells. 2 Rhoda, 2 Noblemen, triple book. This might be the only interesting thing about spells. I go triple book because I have the Mystic Swordsmen, I have the Blade Knights. This applies more to Mystic Swordsman, but you can just remove anything. And you have Mystic Swordsman backed up with a set book. It's a recipe for success. Trinity. I'm not trying to not win games. You draw these and you're just so ahead. This card's less good in this deck because I don't play Sinister, but still good at fixing your hand. So yeah, Smashing, which is a little bit of a different card. People don't really main deck this. It clears the path for Don Zaloog, right? So if your opponent, if you go first and you have Tomato, they attack over the Tomato, then you special summon Dawn. If you have Smashing in hand, you can just smashing the card and then Dawn can connect. So just as a 1-up for that line of play is pretty solid. Finally, heavy MST Snatch. That's it for spells. Traps, I got triple Solemn Judgment. This is key for the Warrior decks because Solemn just makes sure your Dawn can connect, your monsters stay afloat. If they ever try to summon anything bigger than your monster, you have to make sure to clear them, because if they clear your monster, sometimes you can't clear the monster back, and that's when you are in big trouble, because then you can't win the game and deal damage. So you need the Judgment to keep the board clear, to stop powered cards like Torrential and Mirror Force. Super essential, because a lot of times your monsters will be strong enough so that they can't deal damage to you, but you need to make sure your field stays on the field instead of getting cleared by something. Triple Sakuretsu. Good card, Sakuretsu. Mirror Force, which is like Sakuretsu on drugs, so you play that. Torrential. Ring. Staples. And then 1 Dust as another back row clearing card. Scapegoat is probably the most annoying card for aggro decks. So if they go set Scapegoat and you have the set Dust, you can just clear that. And that's it for the main deck. Are we doing side?
Cool. Yeah, let's check out your side deck.
Cool, so side, I guess, clearing this away. I side into a Chaos Turbo deck without the flips, because I just think Chaos Turbo is pretty good when you're going first. So if you won second game 1, and then you lose, and then you probably lose game 2 because they side for you. You side into Chaos Turbo-ish going first, and you just have a stronger deck. So 2 Chaos Orcs, 3 Thunder Dragons. 1 Sinister, 1 Tribe, and 2 Abyss Soldiers. This is a little bit different. Chaos Turbo decks play flip monsters, but I can't fit in all the flip monsters. So I kind of just play these, so that when you clear enough of the board, you can just keep like keep the tempo, right? So like Tribe is great for that, and Two Abyss Soldiers is just amazing for that. Like you just clear all their set cards over and over with Sinister. One Preem because I can't fit in the main, and it's really bad in the main because you're playing so little monsters. But when you side into this build with a lot more monsters, you have a lot more options with Premature. And then 2 Dusts, back row decks, and then triple Raigeki Break because you have access to Sinister and Thunder Dragon. So you should side this when you transform into a Chaos Turbo-ish kind of deck. Yeah, that's my side.
What is the main card you side out in your warrior deck?
You're siding out stuff like Judgments. You're siding out stuff like... So when you side out Judgments, you side out some copies of Book, you side out some numbers of Sakuretsus, and you just basically reduce the number of traps and back row cards and go for like a more aggressive like turn 1 deck, right? The back row cards are not as important going first because you don't need multiple, you need like 1 or 2, but you don't need like a hand of like 3 or 4 of them. It just gets really clunky. So you're signing out like maybe even all 3 of your Sakuretsus. You're signing out, definitely signing out the Torrential because you're trying to maintain your board so you actually like the Torrential just never comes up, and you just have access to Raigeki Break, which is like spot removes anything as a kind of more, what's the word, flexible kind of card. So yeah.
All right, so now we're just gonna ask you a couple questions. So why do you play warriors?
I really enjoy the fact that you have a really strong matchup against like Chaos, like Turbo or Go Control. Any of the decks that turn 1 sets and tries to go off. You have 5 cards basically, and then I guess even a couple more because you have like Exile Force as well to basically counter like a turn 1 set monster. So like it's probably one of the better going second decks. A lot of decks are really strong going first, but just having that little bit of an edge going second is a pretty big deal to me, and yeah, that's why I like it.
It's fair. What do you think is your weakness of your deck?
So you're playing like a ton of 1-for-1s, right? Like most of your cards 1-for-1. Actually, the only pluses are in the main deck at least is Pot of Greed, and I guess Don Zaloog, if it connects, is like a plus because it takes a card away from your opponents. But like Pot of Greed is the only true plus, and so if you're playing against a control deck and they are able to accrue back the advantage later from like good draws or whatever, or turn 1 delinquent duo, you just like lose. Honestly, if you get turn 1 duo, it's like this deck's like a lot worse because it's really hard to get your pluses back. So yes.
All right. What do you think is one of the cards that we need to watch out for in your deck?
So specifically for my deck, Don Zaloog. So a lot of warrior decks, they don't play around Don Zaloog, but because I have the tomatoes and everything, I'm like trying to force out a Don Zaloog as fast as possible, and people need to watch over that because if it connects like once and it's backed up by like a Solemn and a Sakuretsu, like if it connects that second time right after 2, you just basically won the game because you're ripping 2 cards out of your opponent's hand for free basically. It's super hurt. It's like, honestly, when your opponent has like only 2 cards to play with, it's like hard to play the game in Go format. So yeah, it's definitely Don Zaloog.
That's fair. I felt that a bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty strong.
And lastly, what is your favorite Goat format card?
Favorite Go format card of all time? That is a great question. If I had to be honest, this is a weird one. I really like Reinforcement of the Army. I think so. Like back then, people didn't really play Reinforcement a lot. It was only for the the aggro Chaos Warrior decks. But I like that card a lot. I've always liked that card in like any Yu-Gi-Oh format, that any deck that can play like Heroes or whatever in the modern format. Like I love Rhoda. It's flexible. It's like that whole toolboxy element I'm a big fan of. So yeah, weird one, but yeah, Rhoda for sure.
Solid. All right, thanks.
Yeah.